Well, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. We just left the sunny Bay Area to come up to the snow, and yeah, enjoy the sunshine. Alright, so today we're looking at section 4-3A, logarithmic functions. Now remember that this section's homework is due by Friday night at midnight, so once you watch this lecture video, I'd suggest hopping on the homework and getting that done because it's due by midnight Friday before spring break. Alright, so what is a logarithmic function? What is a logarithm? Let's say that we had the question, how many times would you have to double $1 before you had 8? We could use our exponential equation to model this, kind of like what we did previously in the last couple of chapters. And we could get this right here. And we could solve this using mental math because I know that 2 cubed is equal to 8. So I'd have to double the dollar 3 times in order to have $8. Well, that's not that difficult because it's small numbers. It's an easier question. But let's say how many times would I have to double the dollar to get $512? It's a little bit more complex here, a little bit bigger number. I could solve this the same way I solved the 2 raised to the x to equal 8. The way that I solved this one, we could use the inverse operation to kind of undo everything and get the raising of the base to the exponent. So this operation of undoing the exponential function is called finding the logarithm. So a logarithm is the exponent to which a specific base is raised to obtain a given value. Now the main thing I want you guys to remember from this is that a logarithm equals the exponent. A log equals the exponent. If you remember this, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So again, the logarithm is the exponent to which a specific base is raised to obtain a given value. Log equals the exponent, but let's look at what this looks like practically. So let's say that I had 2 to the x is equal to 8. Again, that would be 3 for x, 2 cubed is 8. But as a logarithm, the way I'd write this is log base 2 of 8 is equal to x. So this is my logarithm, and the logarithm equals my exponent. Here's my exponent. That is what this logarithm equals. So that's what I say when a logarithm equals the exponent. I take my exponent and I fill in the rest of this part, and that's what the log equals. So we're looking at how to convert between these two, how to go back and forth. And then it's really important to understand this first intro lecture because this conversion we're going to be doing a lot. So make sure you understand it. Now a few different things to, just different terms we need to know. So this is called exponential form. My exponent is the variable here, and this is logarithmic form. So b, that's the base of my exponential form. There's my exponent, and this is what the equation equals. Now logarithmic form, the base is still b, but it drops down here. Now that's what it equals, the exponential form, that's what it equals, but now that becomes this part right here. Now a logarithm equals the exponent, so my exponent is what the entire thing equals, like I previously said. So let's just look at the example again if I were to write that as a log, alright, log base 2 of 8 equals x. So the way that I'd read this, logarithm, I say that the log of base b of a is equal to x, so log of base 2 of 8 equals x. That's how you read your logarithm. And one final note, a few things to be aware of, is that your base has to be greater than 0, and your base cannot equal 1. So just a few rules that you gotta remember. Now when writing your logarithm, make sure that these parts, they all fall on the same line. And your base here is actually below the log, the 81, the x. So you'd write these just like you would typically write anything else, but the important thing is that your 3 here, that drops down. It doesn't stay on the same line. So the issue that I see occurring is sometimes people write it like this. They go log of base 3 of 81 equals x. Don't do that. That's wrong. Don't make that mistake. The 3 has to go below. It's almost like an exponent on the bottom. Kind of think about it like that. So let's look at how to convert from exponential form. Again, exponential form is this guy right here. How do I convert from exponential to logarithmic form? So to convert from exponential form, I have my base right here. Now the base, that 2, it goes, I always think base to basement. Base to basement. That's what I think. So that base, the 2, goes down to the basement. Now remember, a logarithm, a log equals the exponent. So this whole logarithm, it has to equal my exponent. Well, my exponent is 6, so it has to equal 6. Now what's left over? The 64 is left over, so I just fill in the rest of it. And that's how you make that conversion between exponential form to logarithmic form. Let's look at example B. I'd write log, my base is 4, so the base drops down to the basement. Logarithm equals the exponent is 1, and that 4 is the part that's left over, so I just fill in the rest. I'm going to do one more a little bit faster. Log base 5 of 1 equals 0. So it's that simple. Go and pause the video, try D and E on your own, and then we'll correct them together. So example D, you have log base 5. Let me rewrite that. Log base 5 of 0.004 equals the exponent, which is -2. Example E, log base 3 of 81 is equal to x. So that's how you make the conversion from exponential to logarithmic form. So how would I go the opposite way? How do I convert from a logarithm to exponential form? Now make sure you pay attention to this next section because we actually do use this a lot. This is very useful. So to convert from logarithmic form to exponential form, we're going to recycle. The reason we say recycle, and this is just a term that I got from Mrs. Johnson, because it kind of looks like the recycling symbol there. So whenever I say let's recycle this, or we're going to recycle, this is what I'm referring to. So this is just the term I'll be using. So to recycle, what we're going to do is first, I'm going to take my base, and I'm going to move it over here and kind of bump that x up to the exponent. So I take, log base b of a, I'm going to take that bottom part here, move it over here and bump it up. So it'll kind of look like this. And then my second step, I'm going to take that exponent, I'm going to recycle it or move it back around to the other side. I'm also going to drop the log when I do that. So once I move that back around, I get b of x is equal to a. And that is the exponential form. Make that a little bit bigger. B of x equals a. But this here kind of looks like the recycle symbol, so that's why we say recycle. Let's go ahead and do a couple of examples on how to do this. So our first example, let's go from logarithmic form to exponential form. I'm going to take log base 10 of 100, which equals 2, and I'm going to take that. I'm going to recycle, and that will give me 10 squared equals 100. And that's an exponential form. I'll do one more, and you guys can try the next two on your own. So we have log base 7 of 49 equals 2. We're going to recycle this, and that will give me 7 squared equals 49. That's my exponential form. I'm going to pause the video, try C and D on your own. We'll correct them together. Alright, example C. We would get, and you don't have to, you could just go right to, I'm going to ignore this part for now. I'm just going to straight from the logarithm to exponential form. I'm going to recycle 8 to the negative 1 equals 0.125. Again, just move that over, flip it around. Example D, 5 to the power of 1 equals 5. That's my exponential form. So the key thing, remember that log is equal to the exponent. I'm going to do one more just really quick. Let's say I had log of 2x of 8 equals 3y. If I wanted to convert that to exponential form, I could go 2x to 3y equals 8. So just the same process works. You still recycle that around. So if you remember, a log is an exponent. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Don't forget that the homework for this section is due by midnight on Friday night before spring break. Make sure you guys get that done. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. We'll get it figured out. But yeah, have a great spring break, and we'll see you when we get back.